Oh,
Wow,
good.
great.
How did
I should
you?
have tweeted that, but
Yeah,
You've been having one for 5 days
good
now.
for you sign.
Good for you, Michael.
Yay! But the reason I didn't tweet it is because I didn't think that I cured it because of anything in the lessons. I just cured it the way I usually cure stuff, which is with sheer willpower. I just said I will not have a cold, and I got rid of it. But that's nothing new. I mean, I've done that before. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, the thing that you need to understand that you've been doing immune, like, you know, you can test when you became an Immunix master.
Oh, good point.
Like if you go back through the years, you're like 62, right?
I'm 57.
Okay. So you were born when? What year?
1956.
Okay, so see, I know, like, there are certain years where a lot of people got Immunic mastery, and what I just tested is you became an Immunix master in 1976.
Yeah, I'm getting that too.
Yeah, there are a lot of people became one in 1976.
Huh.
20 years old. Yeah, that sounds about right, actually. That does sound. I'm testing that also. That's true also, and so that's why the Munich is coming pretty. It makes a lot of sense to me because that's something I'm already familiar with.
Right. Refreshing his memory.
I became an Immunix master when I had a high energy disaster in my life that went on for months. And because of my close connection with Meher Baba, that resulted in me becoming an Immunix master.
Will you tell us what happened, Bayer?
Yeah, I got arrested for selling pot, and I was facing spending like 20 years in jail.
Gee whiz.
And I called on Meher Baba, and I just stayed connected. This is all about connection, and I stayed connected. See, there's an interesting. Now, I'll tell you what this meeting is about. Is how you go through collisions and come out the other side of them. Collisions. Meaning, like, usually people see them as interactions between you and other people or things. Like, Barb, did you know that you're interacting with your phone?
Yes.
And you know,
Right now?
no, like when you try to do something technical on your phone, like you try to download a new app.
Yeah. I watch people interact with machines and cars and computers, yes.
And that can alter your particle nature, for example, for better or for worse,
Right.
depending on how you go through it.
Right.
And in that particular time, I just called on Meher Baba. I stayed connected, and so my nature. My nature actually changed. I mean, I had a close connection with Meher Baba for years before that too. I got
I had a dream like that last night.
What?
About being hanging on by a thread.
Being what?
Oh, in the dream I was like falling out of this, like there was a moving vehicle and I was laying in the back with people and it was going around the corner and I was sort of flying off the end and somebody was holding me almost like by a rope almost. And I just held onto the rope and came back in.
Mm-hmm.
It was like hanging on by a thread, you know?
Yeah. That's what Meher Baba said to hold onto the hem of his garment.
Right, I remember that when I woke up.
And then wherever he goes, you go. If you do that, just grab onto the hem of his garment.
Right.
That would be, in Michael's case, very difficult.
No garment.
I'm afraid, Michael, that we're not going to be able to go where you go because
I'll hang in one of his chest hairs.
you got nothing to hold on to. I'm afraid those chest hairs pull right out, Barb. That's the problem with that.
I'll hang on. No, he usually has some kind of like a thing on. I know there's something to grab onto.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Frankie Valli always said, just hold on to what you've got, because what you've got, girl, is quite a lot. Between us. Hang on, hang on, hang on. God.
Either he ain't, but.
Ross, lower your camera a little bit. I like this.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's nice. It's you're facing the camera. It's nice.
Yeah, because this is my laptop, St. Eaton.
That's nice.
So
I like it. I like this way of filming you.
I had the same realization the other day that basically everything we're doing, I mean, there's all those lessons and everything else, but it really is, you just stay connected, like really, above all. Especially for me, and not just focus on thinking, but just focus on my connection, not my thoughts or my ideas.
Yeah.
Everything, like, I'm guided and everything works out.
Now, who were you connected to Monday night? Were you connected to the Packers, or were you connected to...
No, not even the Packers. It's plus they lost.
Oh, Barb.
I say it was meant to be. Our superstar quarterback got attacked and injured.
Oh, no.
They were out for him.
You better
Who
pay...
won?
The Bears, Chicago. Sorry, we play them again later.
You're just a consumer. It's a capitalist product, and you're just
That's right. That's what I knew you were thinking. So I thought, oh, it must have been rigged because they totally attacked our quarterback.
I don't know if it was rigged or not, but the football teams create this like false allegiance to a city when it's really
but
just...
the Packers are different though because they're owned by people, not a person.
Heard that, yeah.
You got the issue, each other, guys.
I've had this discussion with Barb like 98 times before.
Let's make it even.
I thought I would let everyone hear it.
Well, I think this is going to be the best topic class I've ever done.
Yeah, and I'm as happy as I've ever been.
Because I came up with something to do that will alter
Your DNA.
The future of them for mankind.
it will alter your DNA, your level of caring, your particle indexes, and your interests.
Right? It's a lot.
And what this does, and you can do this, I'm going to show you how to do this, and you can do this anytime.
Anywhere, anytime.
Yep. And I came up with it. It just popped into my head when I was thinking about this class. And about because what I have seen over and over again is, Barb, you know how you're feeling great and doing great and you're skipping along, and then you bump into somebody and you come out of the interaction looking like a Picasso?
Yes.
I came up, it's like an antidote. That's what it is. It's like doing this is an antidote to that.
Okay.
So let's try it and see if it works.
It's kind of like the scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz. You have to push all the stuff back in. You know, torn out. To repack myself.
God. What a grotesque image that is.
I know, but that was scary. I will never forget that image as a child.
I know. Okay. Now,
Well, you know,
let's see. Where's the noise coming from? Let's eliminate that.
yeah, I'll put myself on mute. I think it's here.
Well, you're going to be doing this, so you can't go on mute. Because, okay, what I want you to do, we'll use Jen as an example. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to be the ideal Jen talking to Barb. Greg, go on mute.
I'm done.
You're going to be the ideal Jen, the Jen that you want to exist.
The high-dimensional Jen. Okay. I'll be your higher self.
But now we got to remember, this is a monologue. It's not a role play. Like, you're not playing with anybody. You're just going to be Jen talking to Barb, and you know, like. Okay, so it's a soliloquy.
Okay. Oh, good. I'll be your highest self. Okay, cool.
Go.
What, anything? Okay.
Go ahead.
Hi, how you doing? Everything's going really well here. I got this job. I'm making a little money. Things are stabilizing out. Me and George are actually getting along, coexisting. I think I'm going to be like joining the cure team again because I use Immunix all the time, even though I'm studying the workings of Abraham and stuff. I'm always testing and removing things. I work with kids that hey, I work with kids that, you know, these little kids and there's like viruses all over the place, but I never get sick because hormones are moving using my Immunix, so I'd like to get together with Greg and you and Fran so that we can, maybe just iron out everything that happened so I can get back on track and work with you guys again. Because so much of this made such a big difference to me. I'd like to go deeper with our movies or make some follow-ups. People ask me about those movies all the time. George seems to got over the issue about that whole cult thing. I think we're working out our relationship, so it's not such a big issue. And what else can I tell you? Everything's great. I've been feeling really, really good.
Huh. Okay, cut.
Uh-huh.
Now, let's talk about switching.
Okay.
I want you, Barb, to test, are there any ways in which, when I was playing that role, I was switched?
I was or she was?
You were. You.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and everybody else test that too. Was Barb switched in any ways?
I
get it, yeah.
Michael?
I get it, yes.
Okay. Greg?
So you,
I was on mute. Yeah, I was saying yes. I've been on mute.
Okay. Now, hey Michael, let me talk to you for a minute, okay?
All right.
Remember the other day you were saying that you were working on conditions?
Yeah, that'll turn out to be big for me. Yeah.
And you got, presumably you went to the lesson How to Cure Conditions. Did you see that one?
I did it during the session.
oh yeah.
Well, there's a lesson called How to Cure Conditions. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. Let me go back to it now. I didn't study it, but I did. I have seen it.
Okay. Well, one thing you'll notice about it is it's huge, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like it would print out at like 5 or 6 pages. Now, the reason for that is because conditions are very complex.
Right.
But there is a way to simplify. If you know all the stuff in that lesson, you really need to know all the stuff in that lesson in order to simplify it.
Right.
If you simplify something that you don't understand, you'll never understand it. But once you do understand it, it pays to simplify something. And
Right.
conditions are a disease of wanting. They interfere. Well, see, conditions actually don't do anything. Conditions is just it's a diagnostic term. It really doesn't, there's no such thing as a condition. A condition happens when something interferes with your ability to want things. Now, what I noticed from when Barb was talking was that, oh yes, and there's something else I need to tell you too. That in order to understand this, you have to understand switching. And what switching is, you're switched when you want the opposite of what you want.
Right.
That's what people do, you know. Like a child wants her mother to love her, and the mother doesn't love her, so then the child wants to hate her mother. So she wants her mother to be a bad person. It turns into something like that. It's some twisted, awful thing.
Right.
And so, what happens is when something interferes with what you want, you switch and you start wanting something else, which then something interferes with that, and then you switch again and want something else. So it's this kind of like zigzaggy, spirally thing where you go through all these stages of wanting something and then switching and wanting the opposite and then wanting and these things are never, like, you never go back to the original thing, so it's not exactly like they're not literal opposites. It's really more like a down spiral. You get the idea?
Yeah, going through a maze or something, and you never get to the. Yeah.
So that's what conditions are. So now, when I'm listening.
So is switching a condition?
No. There is no such thing as a condition. It's just a diagnostic term. But switching causes conditions. Switching is the cause of conditions. It's actually the sole cause of conditions.
Oh, okay. So condition is the result of switching.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I can think of ways that I switched. I'm switched then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to you
Okay.
and give you a chance to do this. But right now, we'll just go back to Barb. So now, Barb, if I were to play, see, what I heard you doing when you were playing Jen was you were playing, it's not what you really want her to be.
Really?
It's actually it's a lower it's more of what it's more of an idealized version than she is.
Oh.
But it's not what you really want her to be. It's still more like what you think you can have.
Oh, I see. Okay. You really want me to go for it then?
See, the
Okay.
problem with when people switch, a lot of times there's a belief. Greg?
Yes, I'm.
Mute. We've heard the last of you for today.
Dude, dog?
Great scratches. You don't need a dog. No, he's making
We don't want to know you're scratching.
You gotta get him out of those acting classes.
Yeah, really. Okay. So, let me...
Okay, I got an idea. I
Okay.
hear what you're saying.
All right, go ahead, try again.
Okay, this is gonna be funny. Okay. So, hey, listen, I decided to leave George. I got a ticket and bring the kids. Actually, we're coming there to New Mexico first. I got friends there, so I found some good schools for the kids. I just don't think this is right for us to be in this environment, and we're packing things up and going. Finally, I have a plan. I feel like a little money. Legally, I'm in my rights. I can start doing my units again, and I think it's going to be best for all of us. So I want your support in this. I'm actually looking closer to being closer to you. That was one of the reasons I picked New Mexico to come to also. I thought maybe we can work together. Sort of pick up where we all left off, and I don't know, I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling strong. I think the kids are going to benefit, and that's what's happening here. I have to hurry up and do this before I lose my courage. I think if George found out, he would flip out. Probably do everything in his power to stop us, but I just kept testing it was the right thing to do. What do you think?
Cut. Right, so that's closer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, closer.
Now,
Not closer.
here's the thing.
I know what the next one's going to be. This is fun.
Let's say you're not... Well, that's interesting what you just said, because I was just going to talk about that.
Okay, good.
You just said, like, I know what the next one's going to be. You see, that's right. Let's say...
I'm less and less switched. That's why.
Right.
Yeah, but you know that you're still switched. You know you're still switched, so you know there's going to be a next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I can tell I was slightly switched, but less switched. I could feel it in my heart. I was more connected to my heart at that time.
Right, that's right. Now, let's say you weren't in a class right now. You're all by yourself.
And there was a camera on me.
And you decide to do this thing until your particle indexes and, like, your level of caring is all the way at the top. Your particle indexes are completely strong. Something I want to mention, by the way, and this is true for everybody, we really need to pay attention to this, and especially, I think, Franny, I think you really need to pay attention to what I'm going to say here.
Okay.
And it is that when you meet somebody, when you, like, let's say you bump up into somebody in the street, and all other things being equal, when you meet this person, your particle indexes will probably drop. Like your levels, your particle attributes will probably, like, get weaker, smaller. Your interests will probably drop because the person, we vibrate with the people that we're around. And most people's interest levels are not very high. Even, like, there's all these people who are trying to use the law of attraction to get what they want, but they're not really in any place where they can attract anything. Because their levels of interest, like their interest level, what they're trying to attract is like a new car or something. I have a...
Well, I think when we meet somebody and we feel comfortable and good and powerful, that sometimes that it's not that we drop that, and that's always great when that happens, but it doesn't always happen.
Well, funny thing, I was just going to talk about you, Bono, because the interesting thing about the new car thing is, like, Franny had this old Toyota she got from her father. And I was thinking, like, she loved that car, and I was thinking, like, Franny is never going to get rid of this car because, she just loves the damn thing so much, and plus, Her father gave it to her, so it's like a family heirloom to her. And I was despairing because the car was great, but I just was thinking maybe it'd be better if you had a new car. Well, all of a sudden, like out of the clear blue sky, like a day or so later, Franny all of a sudden blurts out, "I want a new car." And then she said, a minute later she said, "But I do love my Toyota." And we went on with our, whatever. And the funny thing was that about 5 days later, her car, like the engine, like sort of blew up. And within 10 days after that, Franny had a new car. And so obviously, like Franny is at like, she doesn't like think about using the law of attraction a lot, I don't think, but she's at this level where the law of attraction really does kick in if she wants something. So if I want something, it's a good idea for me to try to get, Franny to want it too.
She's a good tractor.
Yeah.
Well, just remember though, sometimes I've waited years to have what I want, like moving to Florida and things like that. So it doesn't always happen overnight.
The problem is you want so many things and a lot of them are in conflict.
Yeah, I'm like that too.
Oh, right. Well.
So am I understanding that if you're unswitched, you're more likely to get what you want?
Yeah,
That's right. You will get what you want.
you don't really want anything.
When you purely want something, the law of attraction will provide it.
And when you're switched, it means that you're confused about what you want, or you think you're not going to get it, so you
You're
switch to wanting something else.
Well, a lot of times, when you're switched, what happens is that what you want fractures, and like it's like a plate shattering. See, and when you're unswitched, it's like you have a whole plate it's just like ready to put food on. But when you switch, and if you keep switching, and you go from wanting one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and at some point it's like the plate just fractures and it's all in pieces, and you're wanting 20 different conflicting things. Like, we had a house in Florida all that time, and it was pulling teeth to get Franny to come and visit me there for 10 days. You know?
Yeah, but that wasn't the one I wanted.
Yeah, right. That's right. That wasn't. You see, there it is, right there. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So, when you were, but if you were doing this by yourself, Barb, what you would find is every time you played Jen, let's say you were walking up a mountain in Albuquerque, or down, and walking in the desert, or in an arroyo or something, and you play Jen, and every time you play Jen, she gets more and more and more perfect. Well, what's happening is your particle index is
you kind of more and more what?
perfect. You're creating the perfect Jen. But see, the problem is, now here's another thing. If you're maintaining virtual realities, you can't do this, because when you then look at the real Jen in the real world, she won't be anything like the perfect Jen. And you won't be able to build and maintain a virtual reality for her, or around her, or with her. And if you start building a virtual reality on her, or with her, or around her, all your attributes will go back to hell in a handcart again.
So, are you saying I should just like totally unswitch by letting go of anything having to do with this person, Jen, or just?
Well, in a way, you want, like when you build a perfect person in your mind, you either discover that the person is close to that. Like, I was doing that with you. You know, this morning I was building the perfect barb,
Uh-huh.
and actually, you look an awful lot like the perfect barb. You know?
I think can I interrupt? I think I've done this and do this, and I build the perfect person, and then when I'm with that person, if they're moving towards me and are attracted to me, they're becoming that person.
Uh-huh.
So that's how I see them.
Yeah.
And they want to be that way. I see their best way of being, and they want that.
Uh-huh. Well, why don't we, why don't we give Michael, you want to take a turn?
I'm trying. Give me the instructions again. I'm like pretending.
You have
I'm like putting myself in the.
You're being a different person.
Yeah, but you have to pick. No, he's being him. Oh wait, no, he's being a different person. That's right. You're gonna play the role of a perfect somebody that you know. But you see, I don't know the people you know, so you have to pick somebody.
I can't hear that.
A specific person or a
Why don't you pick
does it have to be a unique specific person?
Why don't you pick somebody who you've been disappointed with recently?
Oh.
Marcos, how did you know I was thinking about picking you, Barb?
Because I know how your mind works. Maybe disappointed with me, I'm playing it.
Okay, so B.
Then you thought that I was disappointed with you.
I did, yes.
Well, you pick somebody, Michael. Pick some.
Anybody.
Okay.
God, they're all so tempting.
Okay. I got it. I got the person. I got the person.
Okay. All right, so be this person is a man or a woman?
Woman.
Okay, so be this person talking to you. Now remember, it's not a role play. Nobody's going to talk back to you. It's a soliloquy.
Okay.
She's talking to Michael.
Okay. Wow, Michael, I'm so excited that I met you and your friend Barb. And I really want to be part of what you're doing up there in Santa Fe. I'm going to come up there and check out your activities that you're having up there, and I want to come check out that room that you have for rent. And I'm going to I don't procrastinate. I'm going to be there. What day works for you? Let's schedule it right now. How about like Tuesday? And maybe I'll rent a room from you. Maybe I'll like help out in your events. And I just really want to be part of the scene that's going on up there. So let's see. If I take the train, can you pick me up at the train station? And what day works for you? Tuesday would work for me. What do you say?
Okay.
You have a room for us, Michael? I didn't know that.
What?
You have a room for us?
We're considering it. This is
Cool. Maybe I'll come.
So, all right. Now, how does that role play? See, I'm not really in a position to tell. I'll say one thing. It sounded a little shallow to me, but I don't know. You know, since I don't know the person. How did it feel to you? Did it feel like that really is your ideal of this person?
Yeah, there's actually many people that fit that. I was thinking of a specific person, but it's a repeating experience I have where I really want people to be to have that attitude and to follow through with things and to show up.
Okay.
So it didn't seem shallow to me because that's really what I'm looking for is people to come and
Yeah, you should go further than and really go for the ideal person that you want, like,
Well, I want one person. I want a bunch of people. Like I want people that I meet and tell about like some of the activities I have going on here at my house and the scene that we have here that Barb's so part of sometimes in Santa Fe. I meet people. This is actually a woman I met in Albuquerque. Barb, you met her too. I don't remember. But I want people, and they'll always say, you know, oh, that sounds really great, but then they just kind of disappear. It actually would be very meaningful, not shallow, but deep for me for people to show up and to join, you know, a community that I'm trying to form.
yeah, maybe in the role play you should be that person that's that certain and that like has the same vision that you have.
Try to form community as best as I can without like living in a commune. You know, I'm trying to do it through activities and through friends and people coming over.
Yeah, yeah.
And what I just role played was what I really want from people that I meet to show an interest and to actually show up and check it out, not just to talk about it and never show up. That's a deep meaning for me. That's really what I deeply want in my life is community. Not just one person, but you know, community.
Why don't you try that thing again and be the person that really wants what you want too? You know, it's more certain. Like on Twitch. Maybe you were hedging it last time because you thought the person was the kind of person that was just like.
So more like, okay, wow, Michael, that's really great that you're like trying to form community up there in Santa Fe, and I'm looking for that too, and I'm definitely going to come up there. Let's schedule it right now. I'm really excited. I want to come up there and see what you're doing there and take part in it, and at least check it out, come to some events, and that's what I want too is community, and I really like that you're promoting like openness and tantra and you're a free thinker, and that sounds really great. I'm definitely going to come check it out.
Okay. I'll tell you what, let's come back to you, but let's give somebody else a chance. Now, Greg, let's try you. You look like you're...
Oh my God. Turn off these lights. They're just too bright in my eyes. All right, so...
I have an idea. Let's see what you can do with playing the ideal Franny.
Oh, there's a novel idea.
Like you were saying that Franny, there were certain things Franny was saying to you that you didn't like and so on. So I thought...
No, I ever said that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I... No, I'm teasing. I don't know what I said about
Well,
that.
never mind then. Just...
But,
you want to be Franny talking to Greg and saying the words that you want to hear.
oh,
But it has to be, what you're doing is you're building,
Oh, now
you're building her as a character, like
yes, I know. Oh, I know.
So it's about, it's not just about how she relates to you at all. It's about what she's doing for herself and her success and how she feels about herself. Go ahead.
So, hey, Greg, how are you doing with that financial stuff there on the computer? Good, huh? Well, tell you what, let's take a break. I just got up from a nap. Let's go for a walk or a jog. Maybe I'll ride the bike and you jog. Let's just take a break and change our activity level here. I think I really need that. Yeah, what a great day it is. It's beautiful. You know, I used to be afraid that if we went out for a long walk together, it would be what I always termed, what was it, the long, lonely walk or something like that, where deep stuff would come out. But, you know, I really enjoy just being with you all the time and like finding activities we can do together. It's really great living with you because we have so much time to just be together and not have to sort of decide what to discuss on the telephone, and where it becomes so extraordinary. This is just a normal activity. Oh, sure, yeah, let's go back and jump in bed. Yeah, we can't really do it right here. I mean, you know, actually there's no one on the street here. Maybe we can go behind this tree. I don't think it's, no, I have a lot of ants. It's too hot, too sweaty. I'd rather like be inside, you know, air conditioned. Oh, gee, oh boy, I'm already wet. Just thinking about this. Tell you what, I'm going to run back, I'll tell you, I'm going to bite back fast and you run back fast, and we'll just get warmed up that way. Come on, lover boy, let's go in here. Oh, don't worry, I know how reticent and shy you are, but you're a real tiger when you get warmed up. You just need a little coaxing. Excuse me, I have to take
All right,
a little...
cut. It's getting too like pornographic for me.
Well, it's graphic, we'll say.
Okay.
No, it's not sort of graphic. Let's go.
I have an idea I just came up with.
Cut, by the way.
Okay, oh,
Yeah, right.
I thought I did say it. All right. Did Greg's particle indexes come up as he was doing that?
Yes.
And let's go back to Michael and test for him too. Did Michael's particle indexes rise when he was doing his role play?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I get yes too. So I guess it was all right then. It was, you know, maybe this thing just works. You know, you don't have to worry about it too much.
What do you mean? It works. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, the whole idea of it is to raise and stabilize your particle indexes. Everybody test when Michael was doing it, did he cure something?
Yes.
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 And what about Greg?
Yes.
Yes.
You know, I can tell Barb cured something because her second one was higher than the first. And that seemed to be a trend because she was predicting the third one was going to be higher than the second one. So,
I got ideas for Greg and Michael.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I was holding back.
Yeah.
Well, it's ballsy of you to admit it, Barb.
Yeah, hold out.
It was like you were saying the words, but you didn't quite believe it. You were
I was saying the minimal thing that I thought I could possibly get. I didn't want to go for what I really wanted. So I was settling.
So basically, you talk about the ideal of a person, and you get off your particle attribute indexes in doing that.
The ideal what?
Another person, you talk about another person, if this person was at his or her best.
Yeah, you pay like their highest intention. Like,
It's a role play, Ross.
Excuse me, buyers.
It's a role play.
It's not really a role play because you're just talking about that person talking.
Well, you're playing a role.
It's still a role.
Yes,
It's just a
it's very much
monologue.
Okay, okay,
It's
yeah,
a soliloquy or monologue, but still you're embodying,
Yes.
creating.
yes.
Yeah.
Tell you what, why don't we give you a chance to try it? Who would you like to play, Ross?
I would like to play my sister.
Funny, I was thinking that you were going to play your sister. Maybe I put the idea in your head accidentally. But anyway, sure, go play your sister. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. What happened to me was very bad, but I want to react. I'm not going to give up. I know I can improve if I really want to. And in the past, I started walking without crutches. I can do it again. The thing I want to face, and I know I can face, is my fear. Fear of falling down, fear of going to hospital again, and all that. And I'm going to face it once and for all now. I want to be a better person, and I want to care about other people, and not only about myself. And I wanted to give myself a chance of doing immunity, and do it right this time.
Cut. Nice. There you go. That's how you do it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
That was well done. Now, did your sister have cancer?
It was benign. It was a tumor, but it was in a very strange place for the type of tumor. So it was very rare, because usually the tumor is higher or lower. She had it more or less in this
Right.
space, and it was on the bone marrow.
So it was just one.
Very,
It was just one tumor, right?
yes, and they took it away.
So they operated. Okay.
And she's still suffering, she's in pain, and she has a different perception of her body, especially her legs.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take a turn. And this time I'm going to play you.
Okay,
All right. And I'm you talking to me.
okay.
Well, Bayard, I was, my sister was a little, like, reluctant to do immunics for herself. And when I got your outline, I realized that there were certain things in your outline that I never did with her. I would, cure things with her. Basically, when I cured things with your, see, like your outline only has a small amount of curing and a large amount of integration. And I did a lot of curing with her, but very little integration. Like I would ask her how she was feeling, but I didn't really pursue, was she grateful to me and how did she feel about me helping her this way. And so there were just a lot of ways that she wasn't getting. So anyway, I started doing the outline or some version of it with her, and that was better. It was better because she was. She's very thankful to me. She actually is. She told me a lot more of that when I asked her about it, and then I had this idea that sort of we were barking up the wrong tree, because she had a tumor, and some of the time I was treating it like it was a cancer and like removing it from her higher bodies and stuff, and it was in her higher bodies too, but it's probably way different when something is a tumor, you know. So I was listening to the talks in the web college, and I heard this talk about how you cured warts. And I realized that like there was some kind of parallel between the tumor and the warts. And I tested that her tumor was viral based. That there was a virus got in there, and that's what made the tumor grow. And it may not even be a virus that anybody knows exists. It's possible that tumors are caused by viruses and that they've just never discovered what they are. Just like warts are caused by viruses. And that warts are another kind, that tumors are another kind of wart. So, like, I was thinking about all these things, and anyway, I listened to this talk about it, and I didn't have any of these thoughts until I listened to this talk. I don't know why, but I just decided I was going to listen to how you cured warts, because you were saying it said in the title that you could learn a lot about curing other things from that. So I figured. Cut what?
I'm sorry. Is it okay for me to say something?
Well, I was in the middle of this role play, but yeah,
Sorry, I'll do it afterwards. I'll do it later. I'll bookmark it.
No, I cut the role play, so why don't you just go ahead?
There actually is, the human papilloma virus does cause cancer. That's known. That's known. Like people who get throat cancer from doing oral sex on someone who has the HPV causes throat cancer.
Right, and also HSV1, the lip herpes has been linked to cancer also.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to.
All right.
Back up what you were saying with that.
Right, so I'm going to go back into the role play. So anyway, I got this idea, and I took her out into the forest, and we went for this long walk, you know. And I was testing through the whole walk, and I finally tested that there was a plant in the area that could be useful in removing this virus and stopping any further tumor growth. Because that's the fear, you know, that she'll just get another one, like they took this one out and she'll just get another one. And so, but I didn't tell her, I didn't actually find what the plant was. I just tested that it was around, and then I got her testing plants. And she was so resistant to it, and she was so cumbersome. When she finally started doing it, she was like testing each. It took her like 2 minutes to test one plant. And there were like hundreds of plants around us. I was thinking, God, we'll never get anywhere this way. But wouldn't you know it, the third plant that she tested, I immediately got a signal on it. And so we pulled this stuff out of a marsh and brought it home and ground it up and boiled it, and then she drank the water. And she's made a commitment that she's going to drink this stuff. It tastes horrible too. But I think because she tested it for herself, that she felt willing to do it. And of course we'll never know if it works or not, but she tested to drink the stuff for 7 days. And then she can stop. And, you know, I'm going to take her out there again because on the way back, we were wandering along and I tested that both she and I, there were these like mushrooms growing on a dead tree stump. And I tested that we both need to take them. I'm not sure why exactly, but I'm going to take her back there and we're going to get some. And I mean, I haven't told her this. I make all kinds of plans for what to do with her without telling her, but you know, later that evening, you know, when we were sitting around after dinner, and I asked her to test if she's a master, and she tested yes. And I could see that she was feeling really proud of herself, you know, because she did this whole project for her health. And also I realized that with tumors, just direct removal probably isn't going to do it. You probably need to find some like some body altering substance, because tumors are a very dense, gross kind of thing, manifestation, you know. It's probably true for cancer too, that you probably need some. I was thinking about that. If I ever help somebody cure cancer, I think I'm going to be looking for physical substances for the person to fast on. Because I just don't see somebody, you know, eating pork cutlets for dinner and curing cancer. Somehow. So, anyway, cut.
That was splendid.
Yeah, that's like, this is sort of like my idealized version of you. You know?
Yes. Right.
Ross the Maestro. By the way, as long as we're talking, I wanted to ask you, have you watched all of the movies that I made over the years?
That?
Like, there's probably around 900 movies that are up on YouTube, and I was wondering if you've watched all of them.
I don't think I watched all of them.
Do you think you've watched?
I've watched many. I didn't count them, but I watched many.
Do you think you've watched over 200 of them?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Well, why don't we test? Have you watched over 300?
Okay, have I watched over 300 movies? I don't know.
All right. I have an ulterior motive for asking you this. I didn't tape the prayer meeting on Monday night, and I felt kind of guilty about it because you always watch the prayer meeting every week.
Yeah.
And I was
Don't
thinking,
feel guilty. Don't feel guilty, please.
but I was thinking,
I really enjoy watching the prayer meeting.
I'll tape
when
it next
it's available, but
no problem. I'll tape it next week, but I was just feeling guilty, and then I was thinking, yeah, but Ross has a lot of movies she can watch. Have you listened to all the audio lectures?
not all of them. Not all of them. I've listened to most of them, and also to a lot of Cure Talks, because I used to put them on my iPod and listen to them when I was walking or cycling.
Well, the Cure
Talk. And to do that.
The Cure Talks are the audio lectures, so.
Yes, but I didn't listen to all of them.
Well, I should tell Michael. You know the Cure Talks in the Web College, Michael?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Well, those are different than the movies that we make now. They're way more basic, and you should listen to them. I mean, there's like about 300 hours worth of them, and so it might take you a while. But I would suggest like you walk around with your Bluetooth in and just listen to these things, for a few hours every day, and you'll really get better fast by doing that. Like you'll get experience. Those
Absolutely.
and also the Cure shows are completely different than anything else. Also, so it's a good idea to listen to like watch one of the recently made movies and then then watch one that you were in to see yourself and kind of learn more about yourself. Because when you watch yourself in these movies, Michael, you will get a different perspective on yourself. It really is interesting to listen to ourselves. I found it to be, anyway, very much so for me. And then listen to one of the Cure talks that I made that are just the audio lectures where I talk about, there are these things like you'd never dream what's in them. Like one of them is called The Child. Somebody was telling me like a week or two ago that she listened to that and she was like, it knocked her socks off. And I was thinking like, oh yeah, I made that I made it when I was in Philadelphia, I think. So that goes back like 15 years or something. But another one's on the Field of Truth, and these things like you'll never hear about them any other place but in that one audio lecture, and you just won't know about them unless you listen to it. So, good idea to do that.
Okay.
All right.
It's good because you can listen to those while you're doing something else. For example, I listen to the audios when I do the chores.
Right.
And I listen to the same one over and over again.
Which one?
All of them.
Oh.
All of them. Because for example, I go out for a walk and I take my iPod with a certain number of audios and I listen to the first 3 and then I start again.
Huh. So you mean you just listen to the same ones over and over again?
Yes.
And then,
because every time I get something different, something more.
I know, because you know why? I never, I don't have a shtick, Like I don't have, if you listen to Wayne Dyer, he has these things he says, and, he's always saying them, like you can have what you really want or something, and he just keeps repeating the same thing. But I don't usually repeat things that much. And in a way that's too bad because, as Tony Robbins says, repetition is the mother of skill.
Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree.
So maybe
and
it's...
also, after I listen to a certain number of audios, and then I get back to the first, I have more knowledge to understand those.
Yeah, that's true. It changes you. Yeah, you're listening from a different perspective.
Yes.
I know. I should probably listen to some of them again myself. But I do that with business books.
It's not in reading or just listening, it's really studying.
Uh-huh. Well, why don't we give Franny a turn?
Good idea.
Okay.
Franny, who would you pick to be?
Frank.
What?
Greg? Oh, no, your dad used to say.
You can pick anybody you want. You don't have to pick Greg if you don't want to. You can pick anybody you want.
Well, I did one about Greg already in my session with Ross, but I guess I could do another one. See if it's better or worse.
You did one of these?
What?
How did you know to do these?
I don't know. Ross came up with it.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
This role play, I came up with it myself yesterday, and I haven't told anybody. Did I tell you?
She
I
told me
know,
the ideal person and speak as if they're.
I don't think it's new
I wanna do my-
to be your ideal person,
Ross, how did you find out about it?
it just came into my mind.
Wow.
Holy.
It was not really the ideal person as Greg was explaining.
Right.
Oh, right. It was just being him. That's all.
Yes.
Well, I think we're definitely psychically connected.
Yeah, it is.
That's great. Okay, but
Yeah.
you go ahead and be whoever you want to be.
Well, I'll be Greg again.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm really interested in what you're doing, Fran. Tell me about it. Like, tell me a lot about what you're interested in, what your life is about, like right now, because we haven't, like been seeing each other for a long time. So it'd be really nice to catch up. I'm excited I'm really excited that you're coming, and I'm looking forward to being with you, and we're gonna have a good time. And I think we've moved forward in our relationship, and everything's been going very well, and I feel very excited about you. I feel a renewed strength in our relationship, and I know that I can be really sexual with you, and I think you're doing really good things for yourself, and it's made you very, very attractive. That makes a big difference to me.
Going once, going twice.
Cut. I can't think of anything else to say.
So your ideal Greg is just obviously just very supportive and but a man of few words.
Right, well, he always just did be a man of few words. Now he talks a lot more of it.
Okay, let's test. Did Franny's particle indexes go up when she was doing that?
Yes.
I guess he has.
Franny, what do you get?
Yes.
Did her level of caring rise?
level of caring.
Did Franny's level of caring rise when she was doing that?
Yes, it was rising. To me, at the end, it was still rising, but you see, she was just had not formulated words. It was getting to be rising more, getting to be more real, where you really take on the role more fully. That's where you really raise your particle indices.
Well, you wanted me, when I was playing you wanted to be with me, like in person. It was hard on the phone. I was imagining being on the phone.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get switched doing this.
So did any of us get switched when we were playing?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, when I was doing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
at first, yeah.
The first time, but I
I
don't
think
think
because you were just holding back. You know.
Yeah, but now the second time now I have an even bigger one than I want. If you really
Well,
didn't care.
I think that's,
Because the highest level of caring if you don't really care, so if I really didn't care what anybody thought, I would just say, hey, yes, sir, I want to fly you here, your tickets in the mail. We decided to do the coaching, the $6,300 one instead of the weekend, your check's in the mail. You'll have a close credit when you get here in the car waiting for you.
That,
But then when I say that one was cut, I could switch too because it's like,
see, Barb, the thing is that you're,
get it, so you hedge it.
actually, see, test this.
Okay.
Am I switching during the role play?
Yeah, I would.
Am I switching after the role play?
Yeah, I mean, an issue I have been. Yeah.
See, what you're doing, it's not that you're getting switched, it's that you're switching back. See,
I see.
doing
Yeah.
the role play is unswitching you, and then you're going back into being switched again. You're like this turtle poking your head out, you know, and then immediately drawing it back in.
Yeah. Trying it out, going back. Yep.
I have to, just to change the subject for a second, Greg and I played each other, which was pretty hilarious.
we've done a number of times. We're
I
talking.
did that in the
being
pool
Fran-
once, it was really funny.
I'm being Fran, she's being me. We're just chatting, and it's really funny and very educational. And you know that's a technique you use in acting. You just improvise on being that character, and you go through all these changes. That's why you rehearse, and that's what rehearsing is. It's unswitching and fully getting the intention of the character. In this case, we're playing the highest intention and the highest vision.
I don't know if we were playing the highest attention the one time I was talking about. It was kind of like we were amplifying our funny course, you know.
Well, let me tell you more about theater. See, in theater, you always look for what the person wants and why the person can't get it with another person and what they're willing to do to get it. And so it's drama, you know. So here we're usually working for getting past the drama or clearing up the drama, all the stuff that we bounce off each other and get switched with each other.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You know, we're just about done with this. But this, what we're doing here is like, Greg, mute yourself. What we're doing here is actually sort of like the reverse of bumping into somebody and getting your particle indexes knocked into the middle of next week. What we're doing is we're proactively interacting with somebody by becoming them. And we're becoming their ideal, an ideal of them. In my case, like I was doing this, see what happened was the way I discovered this and decided to do it in this meeting was I realized I was doing it. I just started doing it. Like it was like, you know, I have these little spirit guides that whisper in my ear all the time while I'm working. And one of them said to me, like, well, what do you want, you know? Like, if the person was saying what you wanted to hear them say, what would they be saying, you know? Because I was going through all this nonsense about one person, then another, and then another. So I got this, like, cut to the chase method, you know, message from one of the spirit guides. I guess they got really bored listening to me. So I started doing this, and then I realized what was happening, that I was doing it, and it was changing it was making me a lot more viable. I was becoming more viable. And when you're viable, you get a very good return on luck. Like you know, because we're always manifesting, all kinds of stuff is coming at us. Some of it is good and some of it is awful. But the question is, what do you do with it? Because something can be awful that comes at you, it's just horrible, but it changes your life, and you create all these winning behaviors because this thing came at you. It's like the thing I started out by saying. I got arrested for selling pot, and I connected to Meher Baba in a way. Greg, mute, Franny, mute, Franny, mute. I connected to Meher Baba in the strongest way I'd ever connected in my life, and I never really dropped the connection after that. It was like I came out of that, you know, just I had more access to Baba when I came out of that. So what looked like this high energy catastrophe turned into this really lucky break, you know, where I became the person that you know, or a step closer to the person that you know. Because I wasn't so like I am now before that happened. And I mean, of course, I was, you know, young. I mean, this is like 1967 we're talking about. So, like, it's a very long time ago, and a lot has happened since then. You know, I went to India after that and so on. I never would have gotten to India. It's funny because I was, it looked like I could really just pick up and go to India because, you know, I had a little money and I probably could have done it. I never would have gone to India. But being arrested changed me, and I went to India. That's how I got there. I got there because I got arrested. It's funny because you'd think, you know, if you get arrested, you'd probably not be able to go to India, but the reverse was true. It was like pulling back a sling on a slingshot, and it just catapulted me forward. You know, I had to go way backwards first to go way forward really fast. So that's what I'm saying is that, like, when the more viable I am, the more likely I am to get whatever is available. Like, I'm able to recognize it and get it. See, the thing I was thinking about, Michael, just we got to end the meeting now. It's just we're even a little. I mean, we probably could go to a quarter of, but usually I like to end at 1:30. But I'll just say one thing to Michael, and which is that you like you seem to tend to focus on disappointment and what you haven't gotten, what's not there. And the more viable you become, the more you'll be looking around at what is there, what can you do. It's never as good as you'd want it to be. You know, it's like what I was saying to Barb, when you play this role and then you look at the person and you see the person is nothing like their ideal self. But maybe you look around and you also see that while that's true, there is a lot available to you that you're not taking advantage of. And so you take advantage of that, whatever it is. Like you stop wanting that person to be their ideal self, and but you can see other things that are sort of like you're training yourself to recognize the ideal. You're training yourself to recognize what is ideal or what is closer to it. And see, that's the thing is, you know, I don't know exactly why I'm using this particular analogy, but I can't remember the guy who came up with 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name anymore. Does anybody remember his name?
It wasn't Kevin Bacon, but it was somebody who wrote that book.
Well, all right. So, okay, the guy was a sociologist, and he did one of these experiments that social scientists do that are kind of fun and weird. And he distributed a letter, and he told the people that he gave the letter to that he wanted them to get it to a stockbroker, and they needed to pass it on to the person who they thought was the closest person to somebody who might be able to get it to the stockbroker. And none of them knew the stockbroker, who was in Boston. But what he discovered was that the letter never went through more than 6 people before it arrived at the stockbroker. And that, you know, people just kept picking somebody who they thought was likely to know somebody who knew the stockbroker. Michael, are you with me on this?
Yeah, I have a question, but go ahead, I'm with you.
It was Frigi Carinthi, Hungarian author, playwright, poet, journalist, translator.
No, he isn't the sociologist.
Well,
Who did?
no, he's not the sociologist, but then Martin Gere used it in...
Yeah.
Okay, so
there was a okay, it doesn't matter, Greg.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, maybe this might be a good place, Michael, for you to ask your question.
All right. I don't understand. Can you hear me all right? Doing what we were doing in the exercises today and role-playing what our ideal of another person would be seems contradictory to me to the principle of accepting people as they are and not needing or wanting anything else from them than who they are.
Well, maybe it is contradictory, I mean. That I don't know, because I am so far, like, why would you even want to accept people as they are and not need or want anything from them?
Well, if we can never change people, and if we're only going to be frustrated wanting people to be different than they are.
Somebody's typing who isn't on mute. Barb, are you on mute?
No, it's probably Barb. She's on mute now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I'm thinking is that when we play, if I play a role, Michael, let's say of you, and I play the ideal Michael, let's say I'm taking a walk this afternoon and I play the ideal Michael, and then I look over at you and I see that you're not like the ideal Michael. But what I've actually done really is simply raised my particle indexes and unswitched myself, and so I'm more capable of seeing where the things that I want are around me, and I can take them because they're available. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. That's a great answer, and I actually was thinking about that.
But as far as accepting you as you are and not wanting you to change or whatever, I would think that if I play the ideal Michael and then I look at you and see where you are and are not, you know, similar or are dissimilar to that, I'm probably going to say, oh, I mean, I am accepting you and not trying to change you. I'm not putting any energy into that. I'm just, you know, familiarizing myself with what I want, being unswitched, looking around and saying, oh, there's something that's right there that I can utilize, and I do that. And it's sort of like that thing might concern you or it might not, you know. But I'm not getting stuck in the tar baby anyway, right?
Right. So that actually makes sense. So basically what you're saying is that the two propositions that I put forth are not mutually exclusive. In other words, I can be honest and unswitched with myself about what my perfect, you know, take would be, and that doesn't mean that I think she's going to be that way necessarily. It doesn't mean I can't accept her being something different, but I'm just being honest with myself about what my own fantasy is, and that I can deal
You
with
probably
it.
have more likelihood of practice bringing that out of her too.
Right, and then all great. So if I do have a clear vision about what I want, either in somebody or something or in a situation, I can accept that I might not get it, but I also, since I'm clear what it is that I want, I'm more likely to get it, and I can take steps to try and get it because I know what it is what I want. So there's a clarity in it.
But see, there's something else here that I think you're sort of getting me to see that I maybe didn't see before. So this is good. And I'll tell you, it is that it's possible that if I am out in the woods playing the ideal Michael and being the I'm in the role, I'm being the ideal Michael, that it's possible that I might be manifesting the ideal Michael or somebody who is closer to the ideal Michael. Now that could or might not be you. It might, in other words, it might not be the same guy that's in your physical body, or it might be. But, if I'm doing that, it's possible that I'm manifesting it. You might even be changing. Like, what Ross was saying about how I was having this idea and somehow she started doing, it's like this 100th monkey effect. She did it with Franny and Greg in their session. And I never told her about it. So she didn't do the exact thing, but it was getting there. It was getting closer to it. So
Let me try and answer my own question in another way. What about this? If I'm clear about who I would like someone to be, that person might or might not be that. But if the person was, I wouldn't know it if I wasn't clear.
Well, that is really important. That's an apex kind of concept for this. You're right. In order to accept the person you really want, you would have to be at a level where you could see them.
Right, and I knew what I wanted, and so I think all the time people, we have this experience of not being sure what we want, so we don't. If we got it, we wouldn't know it because we don't know what it is. So we got to get clear about what we want, and then we can assess: are we getting it or are we not getting it? And then a lot of times we'll see that we are getting it. So you won't know you're getting it if you don't even know what it is.
Well, also, you might find...
That's one switch. We'd say what we want. We go towards what we want.
When you play the ideal person, you might discover that the person that you're playing is not your ideal of them, but you are getting what you want from them. So
Those could be two different things, yeah.
Yeah, that's something to consider too, I mean, at least you'd be able to separate them.
And another aspect of this is that by being unswitched and getting clear what you want, you could also let go of it if it's not going to happen. If it's not happening, like if I have a fantasy about who I want Barb to be, like Barb always shows up when I want her to show up, and when she says she's going to show up, and she's punctual and she's great at keeping schedules, and I make a whole fantasy about Barb, and then I say, okay, now let me look at who Barb really is, and that's not really Barb. Then in a way that releases me, it's like, okay, fine. So this is what my fantasy, and this is who Barb is, and I can live with that, and I can accept that. So the answer to my question is they actually work together, those two, accepting someone for who they are and being unswitched about who you wish the person was can actually work together. Because you've gotten clarity and you release yourself from the struggle.
I know how to get Barb to show up on time. It's very easy. What you do is you live with her and you go into her room at the correct time, and then she's showed up. She's there.
True.
It always worked for me.
I'm very susceptible to inertia. If you already got me there, it's 99%. I'm already, the inertia is in your direction. That's very true.
If I want access to Barb 24/7, I just invite her to move in.
Because if I'm constantly frustrated with someone who's not doing what I want them to do, it means I'm switched. It has nothing to do with that person. It means I'm switched because I can't get clear about what I want and what I'm getting, and then be at peace with those things if they're separate. You know, it's like it's about frustration with someone else is about the person being frustrated, not the other person. Is what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
I think I'm getting something out of the lesson. Is what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, the
If
whole...
I'm struggling with somebody else, I'm really struggling with myself because I'm switched.
You know, I just want to make a closing remark that is kind of important for us to remember, is when we bump into somebody, when people call us, when we encounter people, or when we start thinking about them, just to watch our level of viability, our particle indexes, how are they, how am I feeling, where's my level of caring right now, where are my interests, and I think, and just don't let them get to you. As they say, people say that, don't let them get to you. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barb?
You said it, Jen. Oh man, that's all the way back to Albuquerque. Maybe I have to do this process more often and get clear about where I'm running.
Well, you could do it.
Exhausting.
Do it in the car. Do it in the car on the way to Albuquerque.
Okay, see you all later.
See you later.
Love you. See you soon, Mikey. Bye.
Okay.
Bye, thank you very much.
I'm linking my gravitational body with everybody's. And I'm on the 144th dimension. This is the Cure Drive Cult homepage. You can see we tally our cures. That's the tally there, 132,000. You report your cures here, right here. That's the link to report your cure. Okay, this is the movie that people start with generally. And there's a lot of people actually curing things on camera in this movie and demonstrating exactly how to do it. It's 4.5 hours. So you would be able to probably understand and know what these people are doing by watching this. We are a cult because we're all over the world. Maybe one person in a town, just one little guy who cures things in a whole town full of people who don't, whose spouse thinks she's crazy because she's curing things and he doesn't. She doesn't get sick and he's down with the flu for 5 days and he still thinks she's crazy. We've had spouses die. So this person is demonstrating curing herpes in this movie, the one you're watching right there. And it goes on like that. Now, these are the people here. You see this black area here? This is our Twitter feed. These are the people you want to talk to. And what you do, see, it says follow Cure Drive. And that's what you do. You click on that, and then you pick somebody. Anybody in here will be happy to help you. So you write to people that you see in here. And there's all these people all talking about what they're curing. So that's what you do. You pick somebody that you know that seems like a kindred spirit, presumably, and you write to them. See that picture of the cat there? That's Rosella. She's one of the people whose spouse died. He was a very great guy. He just thought it was nuts. Never did it. Died of cancer. Not too long ago, about 2 months ago. So anyway, you just, you write to somebody and, tell them what you are trying to do. People are always asking about negative medical tests. Here, let me show you. This is a voicemail message. You should probably, if you're interested in getting a negative medical test on, let's say, herpes. She got negative medical tests and both kinds of herpes. And she left me this message when she got her letter from the, hospital, I guess. She was in New Zealand. So her tests are free. Now, of course, there's an enormous website behind this homepage. I guess you're probably guessing, right? And if you see these movies, these are all people demonstrating curing various diseases. These people chose to contribute their cures to your effort to cure yourself. There are around, I guess, over 800 movies, and some of them are linked to this page. So if you click on any one of these pictures, it will go to a movie, and that movie will start playing. So join the cult. Your friends will be worried about you. You're in a cult, they'll be worried. You have the crazy idea that you can cure medically incurable diseases. They're going to be very concerned. Especially if you're battling cancer. Your friends will be worried, and that's a good thing. You will cure things. And that is also a very good thing. You will begin curing things the moment you join, because that's how you join. You cure something. When you cure something, you're in the cult. If you want to get out of the cult, just stop curing things. You won't be in the cult anymore. Easy to exit. Your easy exit strategy. And who knows? You may even cure the medically incurable disease that you came in here to cure. A lot of us did. That's me there in the movie holding forth on how to cure things. I'm on the cure team. That's what I did. I cured a medically incurable disease. Two of them, actually. So I cured 2 kinds of herpes. It was about 4 months after I started doing this that I actually discovered, I'm the person who discovered that you could cure physical diseases. July 1993, my 20th anniversary just passed. I haven't had an outbreak of herpes for 20 years, and before that, I was having outbreaks for 28 years. I got herpes in 1965. The end of the year. 28 years of outbreaks followed by 20 years of no outbreaks. That's how bad it can be and how good it can be if you let it be good. So, take the courageous step that almost everyone you know will advise you not to take. Join the cult. when you're in the cult, your friends will get sick and you will get well. Your friends will give sympathy and you will give cure. And you'll know that you don't even need to take a vitamin pill to cure something. You can just cure it with nothing. Just with you. What can you contribute? What will your contribution be? This woman is curing a flu right on camera. She came in with full symptoms and they were all gone in 15 minutes. You can see it happen. Flu is an incurable viral-based disease. It's medically incurable. She cures it right in front of you. We eagerly await your contribution. And here they are, eagerly awaiting your contribution. And anything that you say to any of these people will probably be a contribution of some kind.